Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is HD and it's time for game number 2 between Goody and Damaga, and I do have to make a quick apology out there for all of you guys. Pain User just had a family emergency. He was sitting right here next to me and now I'm so lonely he had to leave and take care of some stuff, which is perfectly fine. I'm gonna be here to cast the rest of the series, and it is gonna be game number 2 between Damaga and Goody. I really liked game number 1. It was interesting because Damaga just went for all out macro on a map I have never seen before. Icy Cup Test Bug, what a strange one. It is out there on Battle.net, so if you guys want to check it out, I think you guys can just go onto Battle.net and type it into the search bar. And, whoa, what do we have here? 2 SCVs? Okay, so just one going for a supply depot and one going for a scout. Yeah, it's a very interesting map. I really like that playstyle from Damaga. I don't know if Goody's kind of build up on 2 base really worked out, and I think the reason that he lost that game was his Banshee harass was completely thwarted by the fact that the Roaches came in and scouted that starport and the Banshee. So that didn't work out too well for Goody. We're gonna see how this works out on game 2, and this is on a more familiar map. This is Xel'Naga Caverns, one of the most popular maps right now on the StarCraft 2 ladder. And oh god, Goody says, I'm gonna build a bunker right on your base. I don't care what tile set this is. It's basically one big tile set. It's the Twilight tile set. I'm gonna build a bunker right on your natural expansion. And what is Damaga gonna be able to do about this? Excuse me, it's not even a bunker, it's an engineering bay, and you can bet he's gonna stop that SCV at the very last second. There we go. And the reason why you do this is because you can cancel the engineering bay, recuperate, I believe it'd be 90 minerals. I think it's 25% investment cost every time you cancel. He's gonna force the cancel on this when the Zerg finally takes out the engineering bay, recuperate the cost, and basically this is there to delay the hatchery. Now the thing is, Damaga didn't exactly go for an early hatchery. That would have been nice if Damaga had tried to go for an early hatch right away, but Damaga's actually opened with gas first into pool. So what we're gonna basically see is some early Zerglings, and that might be able to take out the engineering bay without too much of a delay, because Zerglings can surround that engineering bay and take it out quite easily. So Damaga might not be too far behind because of that. And we're actually seeing Damaga come in here with the drone, just being a little annoying and pesky, rolling it around and trying to basically take out whatever SCVs and do whatever scouting information that he can. So at this point, nothing really crazy going on. Damaga, of course, is known to be that kind of player that just plays like Hydra. He loves to build up his drone count. He loves to make a lot of macro happen. He likes to get a ton of hatcheries and then overrun the opponent with pure better macro, with better economy, more drones, more army units. So that's Damaga's playstyle. Goody has a kind of similar playstyle. Build up on 2 base, roll out with mech. So let's see, it looks like Damaga is going to start to take out this engineering bay. Look for the cancel to happen right there, recuperating the cost for the Terran player, and Damaga will now plant down that hatchery. As soon as he gets 300 minerals, there we go, takes the hatchery at the natural expansion. Meanwhile, Damaga is moving out across the map. He has a couple of Zerglings. He has 2 spreading out to the left and 1 going towards the Xel'Naga Watchtower. And this is good play. You always want to take those Xel'Naga Watchtowers whenever you have a chance, and especially if you're Zerg against Terran. You get early map control in ZVT almost 100% of the time, unless the Terran goes for some kind of a 2-racks and tries to basically bust you down early on. So nice play so far from Damaga. He now is perched outside the natural expansion of Goody, and Goody looks to be throwing down a tech lab on his factory, and we may actually see, wow, a second factory going down for Goody. And note, this is placed all the way in the back of the base, and the reason for this is because this is the best position to place it so that no overlords can scout the technology coming out. And Damaga's gonna come in here with an overlord, but a marine quickly, 2 marines quickly come over here to deflect the overlord and push it away, and immediately right there, Damaga brings the Zergling up just so you can see if he can see any buildings, and all he sees is a tech lab. Oh, scratch that, the overlord saw the factory. So now Damaga knows that it is a factory coming out, but he doesn't know about the second factory in the back. So Goody's strategy right here could be some kind of a mass blue flame Hellion attack, or it could be some kind of tricky tank expand build with 2 factories. I do think though that Goody is going to try to get a ton of Hellions out, and he's going to try to get blue flame immediately off of this factory. We'll see what happens. It looks like right now Damaga getting a Roach Horn just so he can counter the potential mech that's coming out, and we're having a little skirmish out here at the Xel'Naga Watchtower. Hello, Zerglings coming in. Looks like Damaga says, I really want that Watchtower. Gotta push that Hellion away, but the Hellion comes in range of the Marines, and those Marines, man, they're so good. They're gonna take out those Zerglings quite easily, and the Hellion remains alive. That Hellion Marine combination, one of the most feared in StarCraft 2, especially if you're Zerg. And one of the only units that can really deal with that easily is the Baneling. And it wouldn't surprise me to see Damaga throw up a Baneling's Nest pretty soon here. Nope, he's actually going to stick with roaches. He's got about 1 coming out, make that 4 or 5. So he's got 5 roaches on the field right now. We're having an early push here from Goody. Goody coming off the line with a ton of Marines, a couple of tanks, and a few SCVs just to make sure they can repair. And this is a pretty darn good timing push coming from Goody. But the one thing that Goody had to sacrifice, because he went for Siege upgrade before Hellion upgrade, he is not going to have blue flames. So we'll see how this works out. I think that Goody with Siege upgrade is going to be more powerful because of the fact that Damaga went for roaches. And of course, Siege tanks are so darn good against roaches. They do so much extra damage against them. Now Damaga pulling drones off the line. He has to defend here. The 4 roaches are in a lot of trouble. They're trying to fall back to where it's safe. Oh my god, Damaga has to pull drones off the line, and this is gonna hurt his macro style very, very much so. Oh, look at this, though. We have drones coming up from behind. These are the drones that came up from the side of the main base, and what a great surround by Damaga. Oh, wow, that was beautifully played and executed. That was like the perfect defense, and even the Siege tank gets taken out. And what did that cost? I don't even think that Damaga lost that many drones. In fact, he might have, but he's rebuilding those drones quite quickly. We can see those drones starting to come up right now. I just gotta say, pulling the drones off, hiding them, and pulling them around this way, and then flanking the Terran army, that was strategic brilliance. And Damaga just said, I will not lose to your mech push. I know how to deal with it. You're going to have to think up of something better, Goody, if you want to take out a player like me. So Goody now is going to throw up a 3rd factory. He's going to throw down his command center, already behind in this game, I feel, because he just didn't really kill off that many drones. His Siege tanks were easily taken out by the mass drones that came from behind. And now the question is, what is Goody going to do? Damaga, his plan here is just to macro up, build up a ton of drones, and basically win the game in the long run. Goody's strategy, I feel like, build up mech and then roll out at some point in the game and try to do some damage. First wave didn't do all that much. Here we go, though. We have about 5 Hellions coming out. I believe Blue Flames has been upgraded. Yes, it has. So these Hellions are very, very damaging. It looks like a drone was moving across the map, and Goody saw the drone. I do believe Goody saw the drone, so he should be aware that a hatchery, a hidden hatchery, is going up at the side of the base. Meanwhile, Goody, though, I don't know if he actually noticed it, because right now he's completely focused on taking out these roaches. Very nice micro, pulling up the Hellion from the front line and preventing it from dying. But of course, Hellion's not that effective against roaches. And now Damaga gonna try to go for the gold hatchery as well. What a macro player. This is just beast macro. And the question is, what can Goody do? He hasn't gone for Banshees this game. He said, screw the initial harassment. I just want to go Hellion, Tank, Thor. In that specific order. And that's exactly what he's gone for. So, wow. We'll see if this is going to work out. The command center now has been established at the natural. But right now, it is going to be 2 base. To what I would say potentially 4 base Zerg. I think Damaga is going to quickly establish the gold expansion. It would really surprise me if he doesn't. He's got a Baneling's Nest now and a Spire coming up, so we're going to see that transition into Muta Banelings, which of course deals with the Terran army so well. Looks like a couple of Hellions exchanging fire with the roaches at the Xel'Naga Watchtower, but Damaga with those roaches is going to hold steadfast right there. He's not going to allow any of those Hellions to take over the Xel'Naga Watchtower anytime soon. And remember, this Watchtower is the key Watchtower right now for Damaga, because it covers vision over to this hatchery right here, which is still hidden to Goody's eyes. It covers all roads leading over to the Zerg base, and of course with the creep as well, and Damaga controlling the right side Watchtower on the east. Damaga is really, really primed right now. He has complete map control. And he's even got Mutalisk coming out right now. So we're about to see the Zerg start to harass the Terran player. And my question to the viewers and to myself right now is, what is Goody gonna do? I think I've asked this a couple times already. I really feel like he's pretty far behind in this game. 56 drones to 40. And the Mutalisk ball is starting to amass. Here we go, Mutalisk engaging some of the Hellions. Goody coming forward. He was trying to take the Xel'Naga Watchtower once again. But with the Mutalisk here, I don't think that the Hellions will be able to push forward. But thanks to the Thors, the Hellions are also protected, as well as the main base of Goody. So things are looking pretty solid right now for Goody. He has got a super tight security defense system all over his base with missile turrets, Thors, and everything. But like I said before, he could fall behind in economy, guys. He just doesn't have the macro production, the base production that Damaga has. So that's what's going to cost him the game, in my opinion, if he allows this to run rampant. Unless he does that strategy he does in game number 1, where he just rolls up a massive ball and then pushes out. But it's going to take some hard work, it's going to take some effort, it's going to take some time. And this time, if Goody's going to do that, he needs to wait until he's near max. He just can't afford to push out around 115, 120 supply. It's just not effective at that time because you don't have enough Thors, you don't have enough Marines, and you don't have enough tanks. Meanwhile, Damaga working on that creep spread, guys. That is getting dangerously close. Now it's at the gold expansion of Goody. So if Goody were even to try to get the planetary fortress here, he would first have to drop scans, which of course wastes 150 energy just to take out these annoying pesky creep tumors and basically push the creep back so that he can finally land that command center down. And that's all gonna cost delays in terms of the Terran player. Look at this though, we have, a couple of Thors smashing the hammers down on the Mutalisks. And doing some pretty good damage there, but Damaga pulling his Mutalisks away at the very last second, minimizing his casualties. It looks like now Goody says, okay, it's time to push. He's at 129 supply, whereas Damaga is at 160, and Damaga already has his units spread out pretty well. So here we go, here comes the next engagement. Banelings without speed though, that could cost a lot, as, oh my god, Damaga just came in with a ton of Mutalisks, but they were stacked up, and the Thors just went, turn to the right, boom, boom, and all the Mutalisks just died instantly. Their wings, their bones, their blood splattered to the floor below. Those Thors just made some serious short work of the Mutalisks, and now Damaga is scrambling to get roaches out. He needs a ton of roaches if he wants to deal with these Thors. And he needs to make them quickly. Looks like Damaga very wisely picking off the reinforcing Thor so that Terran ball does not get any more massive, but he needs to make sure he can surround these Thors very, very well. He may even need to pull drones off the line like he did early in this game. It's gonna be very close. Meanwhile though, Damaga not pulling his roaches back from the front line. He's actually focused on picking off all these reinforcing tanks and Thors, but eventually at some point, he's gonna need to bring his roaches back. Oh my god, mismanagement from Damaga here, bringing in the roaches, but he needs to wait for his roaches in the back first, and there we go. Nice play from Damaga. Is it gonna be enough roaches? These Thors are at 1-1 upgrade. The roaches only have 1 missile upgrade. It will certainly be a close battle here as more roaches come up from the back. I don't know if Damaga's gonna be able to hold on here. I would like to see Damaga make some speedlings right now. They could deal with the Thors very easily. Note though that Goody did kill off the hatchery here, so that was a pretty nice play from Goody. He's continuing to reinforce his line with tanks and more Thors because now the roaches have fallen back. The original roaches that were there to pick off the reinforcing line have fallen back, and they have all died now. So basically Goody's going all in. He's trying to shove victory down Damaga's throat. He's trying to kill Damaga off right now by bringing off Thors, consistently applying pressure. He's attacking now the backside expansion, and Goody may actually be able to win this game. Damaga is in a scramble situation right now. It's basically a race against time. Can he build up enough roaches to deal with all these Thors? Because basically what Goody is doing is attacking every single hatchery and picking off the roaches as they come off one by one from the hatchery, and not allowing the roaches to mass up into a big enough ball to deal with the Thors and the tanks. And this is such smart play by Goody. Damaga right now cannot mass up a big enough roach ball. He's building tons of roaches, but each of them continually getting picked off at every single hatchery, so it's not effective. Goody now coming in with, oh my god, the Hellions are here, and they're gonna kill off so many drones, along with the hatchery falling down, and now everything has fallen apart for Damaga. Damaga's base has crumbled. His massive empire has been brought down by the hands of the Terran Emperor. Actually, it's not really the Terran Emperor, that's Boxer, but he's been brought down by the hands of this Terran dictator. And every hatchery has been just picked apart methodically, and Damaga now only has one base left. It's his main base, and he's distance mining it. His spire is bleeding to death because it's not receiving nourishment from the creep. And wow, just like that, I was gonna say Goody was gonna win this game, but what an effective counterplay, eventually pushing out. He was just barely able to break the Zerg's back, and I do have to say a lot of that came down to Damaga not microing his Mutalisks very well. He actually clumped them up, allowed the Thors to just take them all out in one massive volley. And so what's left now is just a handful of roaches and mutalisks. One last desperate counterattack for Damaga, but too many tanks in the back, and Goody is going to win this game. What a brilliant play by Goody. I have to stress and emphasize the fact that Goody spread out his attacking forces and attacked multiple hatcheries during that engagement, thereby eliminating the possibility of roaches balling up into a massive ball, picking them off one by one, and that was what allowed him to win this game. So a brilliant strategy executed by Goody. Damaga gets picked apart, and wow, what a brilliant game. So that was game number 1. We're going to move on to game number 3. Once again, I apologize, paying user has left the building, and so I'm left here all by my lonely self casting, and hopefully my neighbors, which have warranted, have give some complaints before about how loud I cast. Hopefully they don't get too annoyed about me yelling at the top of my lungs, because earlier, of course, I was keeping my voice down not to drown out Pain User, but now it's all me and my neighbors. So game number 3 is coming up next, guys. HD signing out.